You could accept the fact that this city is headed for a disaster of biblical proportion.
What do you mean, biblical?
What he means is Old Testament, Mr.
Yes.
Mayor. Real wrath of God type stuff.
Exactly.
Fire and brimstone coming down from the skies. Rivers and seas boiling.
40 years of darkness, earthquakes, volcanoes.
The dead rising from the grave.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
We don't normally get this kind of action.
It's for us. It's just for
exciting.
us. It's the way our stream is.
Oh, dear. It's because you guys are here.
It was a legitimate call. It made sense. It was pass interference. I don't care what anybody says.
Get ready for 2 hours of hard-hitting football talk from two men in the know. It's Football on the Know with Jim and Joe.
You call runs when you're not supposed to, and Dak Prescott is throwing it in the dirt.
What they say, it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Football on the Know. I'm Jim McPhee, and alongside of me is Mr. Joe DeCapita.
What's going on, Know-It-Alls? Welcome back for another edition of Football on the No Show. Ready to go. Guess what's happening tonight? An NFL release party. That's what's happening. So there's big schedule releases happening tonight as we speak right now. As games trickle in and they're announced, we're going to talk about some of them on the show, as well as some of the number changes that have been happening as of late, because the NFL has now kind of released the restraints of who can wear what kind of number. Running backs aren't constricted to the number 30 in the 30s or the 20s or anything like that anymore. Now you can pretty much wear whatever you want. Single digits? Sure. Wear number 4 as a running back. Wear number 2 as a corner. Who cares?
Well, I don't know. It's like if you have a major problem with it, I mean, I don't get the understanding. It's like it's only a number for some people, I guess. But I mean, I understand some people want to get back to their number from college or high school or whatever. But yeah, who knows? It could be confusing for other people. Some people like it, some people don't. But we definitely thank you guys for joining us here tonight. Sorry we're getting a little late start here, but we've been doing a lot of crazy stuff here. And a lot of stuff's happening here with the schedule release now, Joe. Let's get right into it. The schedule release. And a lot of the games already leaked out earlier today. And
True.
Some big matchups here, I guess, set up for us this coming season. We already knew some of the teams that your favorite team was going to be playing. We just didn't know what weeks it was going to end up following up.
Or the times or what day they were going to play.
And the first game that starts up, it's Tom Brady and the returning champions, the Buccaneers, are going to face the Dallas Cowboys here. And
in Tampa.
Again, this is the best game that they can come up with. I mean, anyways, but isn't it usually the Super Bowl champion plays against the other? Isn't it like the Super Bowl rematch?
It's usually like a rematch.
Like, why didn't they set that as the rematch? I mean, a lot of people, I think, would have enjoyed that. Again, seeing
I don't know. I'll tell you right now, because the Cowboys are involved.
So bad,
because the Cowboys are involved. Come on, it's Jerry Jones. He pulls strings. He wants to be in the limelight. Wants to be the first out there on Thursday Night Football in the prime time light under the lights. So yeah, Jerry Jones probably pulled some strings to get his team put out there up front and dialed in. Now he's going to play against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, the Super Bowl champions.
We got some people in the house with us already here tonight, Joe. Why don't you give a shout out to people out there?
Oh, what's going on? Albert Alvarez, baby.
Albert Alvarez,
an original know-it-all, has just made his debut again. Welcome back, bro.
In the house, Texans.
My God, we were wondering about you.
Yeah,
we didn't know what happened.
Hey, he's very busy. He comes back here.
He is
that's the thing.
very
we are
busy
always
guy.
Here.
Very busy guy. Just for all of our fans out there, I mean, if you want another NFL group to go to, our guy right here, Albert Alvarez, he has a phenomenal group too, filled with all kinds of teams, just like ours. A lot of banter back and forth, a lot of debate. NFL All Talk 32. Make sure you check him out. Support him. He's one of our original know-it-alls and one of our close friends. He's a good dude.
Yeah, there you go. Tom Leiter is in the house with us tonight, too. Also, he posted the show in the group. Awesome. We appreciate it, Tom Leiter, out there with us today.
Appreciate you, bro.
Another group, NFL News and Updates out there. So another groups, they're all coming in here.
Share to me. Yeah, it's same thing. We get it.
I understand what you mean, bro. It's all good. You guys are out there. I know Albert says about his Texans. I'm hiding being a Texans fan. Yeah, but you wrote it right there. My Texans against the Jags. He's excited about that matchup. Tom, let us know about you and the Seahawks too. You see any matchups up there with them and how that's going to happen? I know a lot of analysts are already calling it that the 49ers are taking that division. Like, how do you feel about that? I think it's a little closer.
I
than
think we
got to
play some games first.
Yeah, absolutely, exactly. You know what I'm saying? But what do you think? Let's go right into Albert here. He says, Jags and Texans here. I mean, that could be interesting just because I think both teams are in like rebuild mode. You have.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing: is the Jaguars? Yes, you could kind of say rebuild, but when you look at that roster, how it's laid out, there's still a lot of veterans intertwined into that roster. There's some new blood as of last year that's on that roster. A lot of guys that were injured last year, especially on the offensive line and wide receiver and kind of sprinkled in all throughout their roster. They're all coming back healthy this year. Yes, they got a rookie quarterback, and obviously they're going to be starting him. He's going to be out there week 1. He's going to be out there and trying to work through all the kinks of now taking that big step into the NFL league. Let's see how he handles it. But going against the Texans, now Texans, they're on a kind of like a completely different warpath here. A lot of uncertainty is happening in Houston. Deshaun Watson, he's going to trial about the allegations that are going up against him. We'll see how that all breaks down, see if his name is cleared or what have you. Will the league suspend him based on him even having to go to trial? Normally the league doesn't give you a suspension if you're proven innocent, but with all these allegations and everything, you got to wonder, will NFL at least give him something like 4-game suspension? I mean, you don't know. And on top of all that, after that whole court case is over with for Deshaun Watson, then it comes back to where is he playing? He's already stated that he doesn't want to play for Houston Texans anymore, wants to move on, wants to be traded. And Houston is set, they've dug in and said, we don't want to trade you. We want you as our quarterback. But I feel like the organization does have to somewhat prepare for that reality of moving on without Watson. And if that is to happen, they got to cash in. They got to take the biggest trade they can possibly get to also help bring in some new additions via draft or free agency for the next coming off season. So as of right now, they got a lot to work on. If Watson isn't there for them, they did take a quarterback in the 3rd round because it was one of their very few picks that they've had. Probably one of 2, I think, or something, or 3.
Right. And that was their first one that they had.
So they utilized, and they went after, Davis Mills. Yes, that's right, Albert, out of Stanford. One of the guys that I was very high on coming out of the draft as a quarterback that was kind of low-key, a guy that can deliver the ball very accurately, very smart. He's a little more athletic than what he looks like, and he can handle the quarterback job, I feel like, in the NFL. It was just a matter about injury concerns coming out of college. He was heavily injured. Can he stay healthy in the NFL? Let's wait and see. But all in all, there's a lot of variables, a lot of moving pieces for Houston, and we'll have to wait and see how this storm all weathers out.
Yeah, I mean, the big question is there again, and you also have Tyrod Taylor there, too, that they brought in, too. So, I mean, if, Davis Mills isn't going to be the guy right away. Tyrod Taylor has done it before.
Right.
I mean, he's coming back from that punctured lung, looking to try and start here anyways. We'll see what happens moving forward with that. But it could be interesting. That's what I mean. I think it all depends on what goes on with that Deshaun Watson situation here and that matchup here.
Right.
And now Tom Leiter says, is Wilson viewed around the league as a whiner after this offseason? I don't think so much. Again, I mean, it could be a lot of people are painting out now these quarterbacks to be the new – well, they've already been divas, I guess, in a sense, but they're speaking out and they want to be part of the decision-making. That's what you're hearing a lot. You heard it with Deshaun Watson.
Right.
You hear it with Aaron Rodgers. You hear it with Russell Wilson as well. And I understand, like, they don't want to be the decision maker, like you probably hear that, like Tom Brady has done in Tampa. But they want to be involved. What are you bringing around me? I want to hear this. If I'm not happy with this, why should I stay here? What brings me to stay here with you guys? What have you done for me lately? And as far as Russell Wilson's side of point of view, I don't think he's so much of a whiner is because he's been getting hits constantly year after year. He is ranked number 1 or in the top 5 in QB sacks with 40+. He has the most consecutive seasons with 40+ sacks.
That he does.
Out of any quarterback out there playing today. So that guy has been taking a beating, still stays healthy, gets up and continues on with the next down, and has been the only thing that has really generated a lot of that offense. I mean, I remember seeing them struggling a couple years back even, too, where they couldn't really operate in any phase of the game.
They couldn't
You
run
get
the
it
ball.
running, yep, and then finally now with all the different running backs they were shuffling through with Chris Carson and whatnot, they were getting the running game finally going, and then opening up for the pass. And all, mind you, with not a lot of, he had some good receivers, but again, a lot of names that a lot of people don't really think of. Like other people have had, like Julio Jones with Matt Ryan and this guy
I mean,
with
you used
this
to have
guy.
Doug Baldwin.
But Doug
who
Baldwin was pretty
really,
good,
really
which-
good receiver.
Exactly, but kind of made a name for himself.
Right.
Not exactly coming out of the draft deemed
Yeah.
top wide receiver.
Yeah, and that happens all the time. You see that, some guys flourish, some guys don't. But all in all, Russell Wilson, I mean, bottom line, whether it be Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, what have you, some of these guys, especially Rodgers and Wilson, they've established themselves in this league. They've been around for quite some time now, and not only been around, but they've been the starter, and they've always been consistent. They've always been winners. They've always been there for their organization. And would it kill the organization to at least listen to them a little bit, hear their suggestions, and let them be a part of the whole equation overall when it comes to maybe possibly drafting players or even in free agency? Whether if they have some holes, maybe Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson have a few suggestions on how they can improve this offense. You know what I mean? Or maybe even improve the team. Just by listening to them, and then you don't have to do everything they say. It's not what we're saying, but at least listen to your veteran quarterbacks that have been there, done that. Look, Aaron Rodgers has won a Super Bowl. Russell Wilson has won a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? These guys have been around. They're very successful quarterbacks, and they are the backbone of your organization right now at that high premier position. So why not listen to them? Hear what they have to say and kind of take that as you will, and then move forward with the team. So if Russell Wilson's pounding the table for better protection, why don't you help the guy out? You already got weapons now. Now the time is to turn and look at this offensive line to help protect him. Maybe make him, maybe allow him to sustain a longer life at that position at quarterback. Because overall, if he keeps taking those hits, pretty soon he'll be getting injured and he won't be able to play anymore. And the same thing goes for Rodgers. But Rodgers is a little bit different. He's not calling for offensive line, really. I need more weapons to throw to. I just can't be throwing it just to Devontae Adams and every once in a while Alan Lazard or Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Those names don't really strike fear into defenses' hearts here. So Adams does, but he just needs more, elite type of talent. And so far we haven't seen that. In the backfield, absolutely. But
yeah. Plus, he has been getting the injuries there, too. And he has shown that he has other interests other than football and other dreams that he would like to accomplish with the Jeopardy and things like that stuff. So he's shown that he can be valuable somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's great when you could say, well, I'll walk away and be able to say, well, I can do well and be successful somewhere else without you in your back pocket. So, which the team is making decisions here. You want to talk about the Packers quick? They've just got to bring in Blake Bortles now, a former, playoff quarterback here for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
As insurance, and rightfully so. And they've also had apparently, from sources, they've said that they've actually extended a very generous offer to Aaron Rodgers, upping his contract details, extending that contract, and with some pretty lucrative amounts of money. So we have to wait and see how that shakes out. Like, is that really what he's looking for? And I know we've said it on the show before that was part of the equation where he wanted to be guaranteed he was going to be the starter going forward. So will this contract change his mind, and then he'll come back to Green Bay? We'll see.
All right, Tom Leiter in the house. He says, watching this show sounds like any given Sunday in my house. Great job, guys. Oh, thanks. Thank you.
You're real nice.
That's
If I
right.
didn't have puke breath,
I'd kiss you.
Yeah, there you go, Tom Leiter. That's
Watch
just
it,
for
buddy.
you, buddy. If I didn't always have puke breath.
Quick
Hey,
shout outs
what's up?
right now. Kevin, welcome to the show. Josh, welcome to the show. Albert Alvarez, the all-time know-it-all.
Man, the OG right
yeah,
there.
Cody Raptor's in the house. Zach Walker, Tom Leiter as usual. And we have Nick Bizzarro. Welcome to the show, bro.
Yeah, boom, knocking them all out there. All right, excellent. So, yeah, let's look at the first matchup here. Again, America's team. Dak Prescott comes back healthy, you would think, here after, that depressing injury that sidelined him for the rest of the season last year. And we'll see what happens when he comes out. And what's he going to look like? Is he going to be a little mobile still? Is he going to, be maybe shy around that leg? Is he going to nurse that a little bit? Sometimes those injuries kind of make quarterbacks think a little twice sometimes.
Well, I
about
think
taking
that's
off.
definitely going to come into play, especially early in the season, especially the first game. I mean, when guys get close around him, maybe around his legs, that's when he might be a little shook a little bit, and he might have to get rid of the ball faster because he doesn't want to take a hit, get a little worried about his injury. I mean, that stuff is going to happen. That's got to be worked out of him. So, and nothing's going to do it besides live action. I mean, that's really, they can practice it all day long, but when you got guys that are really trying to get to you and really trying to take you down, that's what he's got to work out, the mentality of it. You know what I mean? The mental part of the injury, thinking about it as you're playing. When he starts to forgetting about his injury and starting to play like he normally does, it'll all work out in the end, and then he'll be able to be Dak Prescott once again.
Absolutely. So, when we talked about them, what are they going to do leading to the draft? We were saying they got to go offensive line, but then also in the first round, we thought they were going to go and get Patrick Surtain. But once he came out, off the board, he wasn't there anymore. They had to make a split decision here and move back, and they pick up Micah Parsons. And in the second round, they get Kelvin Joseph, and you can see throughout this draft they really focused heavily on defense because where they ranked very low last year was defense, giving up those points, and without Dak Prescott, especially to get them back in some of those games, because you saw that last year they'd be down in points, and Dak was able to get them back in some of that garbage time, get back into the game and pull out some victories, but then also come close and still end up with a loss. They really focused on the defense here, and you can see the influence that Dan Quinn is trying to do here and trying to fix what had been the mistake here of the last season. To match up against the powerhouse of what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are, though, it's a really tough plate to try and fill here. Even though, it's Zeke Elliott, he's still going to be hungry, want to be fed. I don't know if he's going to be eating too much.
But I mean, here's the thing: is when we take a look back at this past season, Zeke wasn't eating that much, and we thought this would happen. When Mike McCarthy came over, we had an idea, even though he wasn't really calling the offense or making the game plan, he had a part in it. But it's like with his influence as a head coach now, they were throwing the ball more than they were running, and that's not their formula for winning. Usually their offense is Zeke. Zeke is the guy. Zeke runs the ball, and then that opens up the pass for Dak Prescott and all his weapons. So let's see if that kind of evolves and changes a little bit this season maybe, with Kellen Moore as still the offensive coordinator. Let's see if he can kind of get Mike McCarthy's ear a little bit more and kind of make an argument or at least a debate on why we should be running more than passing. So we'll have to wait and see with that. And with this Buccaneers team, I mean, they didn't lose anything this offseason. And that's the scary thing. Not only were they Super Bowl champions, but they managed to retain every free agent that was from this team and brought everybody back. The only person, or no, they did. They ended up signing back AB, didn't they? For like a 1 year deal.
They got him later on.
So they got him back too. So it's like
Yep.
every single player is now back with Tampa. Same team that won the chip is now going to be contending throughout the season.
Yeah, especially with, I think, that division being weaker now that Drew Brees isn't in it. I mean, the Saints now, I think they're kind of in a question mark type of spot here. Is it going to be Jameis Winston, to take over the helm here?
I think that's
right.
That's
but, I mean, what's that going to look like? Last time we saw him, yes, he could put up 5,000 yards and 30 touchdowns, but he also had the turnovers. Is he now his time with Sean Payton been able to fix some of that? We'll see, moving forward for that division. But right now it seems like the ball is in the Buccaneers' court here, and it's their kind of championship to lose in this.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing, too, is like the Cowboys, as much as they did in the draft, a lot of these guys aren't going to be able to make huge impacts right away. You know, Micah Parsons, I feel like he'll make an impact in the run game. He'll make an impact on rushing the passer. I'm interested to see how the Cowboys defense uses him. Listen, Dan Quinn's your D coordinator now. Yes, he's a different D coordinator, but look at what he did in Atlanta. Squat. I mean, he was there for several years and still didn't improve that defense with better talent. I mean, Grady Jackson at D tackle, Deion Jones at linebacker. I mean, he had some good pieces to work with. Now he's with Cowboys. Let's see if he can change the whole, flip the script right here for the defense for the Cowboys and try to improve this defense. Calvin Joseph in the second round, I think, was one of those kind of low, under-the-radar type of draft picks. I think this kid can come in, and he's going to make an impact right away. I just don't know how much of it, but we'll have to wait and see. Micah Parsons, like I said, I feel like when it comes to pass protection, or not pass protection, but pass defense, he's going to struggle a little bit, you know, on the Cowboys D. So they still have holes. Despite the draft and what they've done, they still have holes on the defense. They still have holes at the offensive line position. So those we're going to see that it's going to make impacts throughout the year for them.
You know, what they did in this schedule, too, is they really set up week one for a lot of good marquee matchups, too. Whether the teams even are Super Bowl contenders or just, you know, on the rise or whatever.
Or entertaining matchups.
The matchups that they have, I'm just taking a look at some of them. I think the New York-Carolina one could be interesting. Pittsburgh-Buffalo, I think, is a nice matchup. Not so much the San Francisco-Detroit one, but again, Seattle and the Colts. What do you think with that one, Tom Leiter, here? With the Colts going into Indy now, you have Carson Wentz there as the quarterback for them. I mean, is that going to be a difference maker for them? Seattle going there. Arizona-Tennessee, I like that matchup too as well. What about you, Joe? What do you think of some of these ones?
I'm kind of curious with week one with Dolphins-Patriots. I mean, the Dolphins have made a lot of moves, especially in the draft. We know that they had like 5,000 draft picks, and they looked like they were hitting on all of them. Let's see if they pan out. I know it's going to be hard their first year, all these rookies coming in and making a splash, but hey, let's see. We've seen crazier things happen. So this is a very young franchise with the Dolphins. They got a young quarterback. They got a young offensive line. They improved that throughout the draft. They improved the receiving weapons that they have. And defense they've touched on too. So I'm very curious to see how that matchup, Patriots versus Dolphins, week one, will it be Cam Newton at quarterback? Will it be Mac Jones, the rookie that they were hoping would slide to him and ends up there right at 15 for them? Will he take over as a quarterback before we even get to week one? That's going to be an interesting quarterback matchup. Is Cam versus, Mac. Cam and Mac.
Yeah, who knows?
We'll have to wait and see with that. Other than that, I'm also interested to see Packers Saints. That's another good one for me. I know everybody
could be up in the air by then, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, especially if Aaron Rodgers is still a Packer, it's going to be interesting because you bring up Jameis Winston with the Saints. Most likely will be the quarterback. Most likely, but I feel like with Sean Payton's tutelage and Sean Payton's offensive wisdom, I feel like he'll make a game plan week to week with Jameis that fits him to a T. That's going to, almost not guarantee, but it's almost going to put him on the right track for success. And I know like the night game for week one, the Sunday night game, and they got the Bears and Rams. Interesting. It is a little interesting. Now you have Matt Stafford as your quarterback for the Rams, and you have Andy Dalton so far as the Bears quarterback, but they also traded up to get Justin Fields. So let's see how this whole quarterback,
he seemed ecstatic to join the Bears.
Yeah, right? The most ecstatic quarterback ever to be drafted. He's like, yeah, hi, coach.
I know you want to be respectful. Yes, sir. Yes, okay, I'm ready.
Yes, sir.
But,
I guess. Yeah, I guess I'll be
not
there.
even phased.
You know what I mean?
Right? We got Tom Leiter in the house. He says, I've seen the Browns ranked as high as number 4. Are you buying or are you selling? Buy or sell? We've done that before.
Is this a ranking? Is that what
I
this
don't know. I think that's ranking. I don't think it's talking about strength of schedule or anything.
I don't care about.
But
I really despise power rankings.
Well, I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna buy in on them then too because they've progressively gotten better. I think Kevin Stefanski addition of him to that team has worked out, and they did well last year without Odell. Now, if he comes back this year and they're still able to perform at that high level, I mean, they can only get better. Power rankings.
Yeah,
you're right. So, Joe, I mean, we might as well
this
throw
is
that
what
in the dump. But
this is what I'll say. I mean, if we're buying and selling the team as is, I'm going to buy the team. As far as power rankings go, no, I don't agree with them being number 4. I think that's a little high. But the Browns, they are an ascending team. They have a lot of nice weapons on offense and defense. Both feed off each other. And the thing that Jim mentioned is Odell Beckham coming back. Now, this could be a distraction. This could be very bad for Cleveland. I know it's one player, but we've seen when he was with Baker Mayfield on the football field and just kind of always in his ear, always sitting around him, always trying to say, hey, listen to me, throw me the ball, I'm open, and kind of forcing Baker Mayfield to just keep throwing it to me. Keep throwing it to me. I'm open, no matter if I'm double-teamed or not. And it just didn't work out. So now when you removed Odell, he got injured, obviously. So he was out, and the time that he was out, the offense all of a sudden, played much, much better. And so you got to wonder, with him returning healthy, does this make a negative impact on all the progressions and everything that they've done right so far in Cleveland? So we'll have to wait and see how that all works out. I mean, will it hinder? Let's see. Cleveland is no guarantee that they hold on to Odell either. They talked about possibly trading him before. I still think they need to revisit that.
I'm happy when I'm playing.
He might be, but he hasn't played a lot lately.
That's right.
So there you go. All right. So, I mean, great questions. I love it. Keep it coming. Light up the comments.
Thank you
Absolutely.
guys so much.
But, I mean, the rankings are the dates, the games are coming out. You know, they have their NFL's doing their 3-hour show right now. I mean, they're an hour and a half into it right now.
Yeah.
Looking forward at a bunch. And some of these games, I think they anticipated some of these ones were going to be a little better, I think, pre-draft and even in a sense. But looking at Kansas City and Baltimore even, I'm not so sure that's even a great late night Sunday night game even so much.
That's kind of like a rematch of the playoffs, so I feel like that might be pretty good.
Yeah.
The one game that I'm scared of, and it's because my Raiders are involved, is the first week is Monday night. We have to play the Ravens.
Right.
Are you kidding me? Let me tell you, NFL, you're not setting us up for success. I'll tell you that right now. We got to play the Ravens?
Right.
Oh, boy.
Right, I know. And then they even – you talk about a team that trying to focus and help out their quarterback and get some more weapons. They definitely did that. And we got to see the Jets try and do something like that too. So now even for me – we're also hearing things that they bring in Tavon Austin, too, to check him out, see what he's doing. I'm really liking what the Jets are doing now. So now they just seem like an interesting team to me. I'm really interested to see what Zach Wilson can do on the football field, too, for this team. I think
it's going to be rough the first year.
I think this AFC East is going to be really fun to watch.
The Jets are also they just kind of hit the rebuild button a little too early all of a sudden. By trading away Sam Darnold, I don't think that was the right move, but we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. But Zach Wilson...
Which they end up playing each other this year.
Right. And usually quarterbacks that come in as rookies, they are going to struggle here and there. Sometimes the rookie quarterback comes in, wins the job hands down, and plays pretty darn good. So we'll wait and see, because this Jets offensive line hasn't been improved. They still only have their left tackle, Mekhi Becton, and everybody else is kind of average or below average. So I'm kind of concerned for Zach Wilson to be running for his life still, much like Sam Darnold was.
Yeah, absolutely. So you see any other matchups here? I see at week 3, I think Washington at Buffalo, I think, is a nice matchup, because also you reunite the Buffalo Bills here with, is it going to be Heineke or is it going to be Fitz right there week 3 still? We don't know, because he is so up and down with teams. You know, when he has his opportunity to shine as a backup, he does well enough. But then again, he falters, and they're quick to put him back in the back pocket. If he is the true starter here for Washington, it helps them out. But you've got two great defenses going against each other. Josh Allen with the strong arm, and the veteran here, and Ryan Fitzpatrick on the other side.
Yes,
I really like this game here. Sunday day matchup here
That
in
is
week 3. I think
is
that's
definitely
a really
nice matchup. I do like that. I'll go back to the Packers too. If Aaron Rodgers is with the Packers, Niners looks like a good game in week 3. Another one too that kind of pops out to me is Chargers Chiefs. Actually, the Chargers did a lot to revamp this offensive line to help protect Justin Herbert, and I feel like by doing that and with the defense that they already have, they could be a dangerous team, and the Chiefs better not overlook the Chargers here because they maybe, quite honestly, they could not only go toe-to-toe with the Chiefs, but I feel like they might be able to slide out a win and
they
surprise
had
them.
a lot of close games last year with the Chiefs, and exactly, Justin Herbert, another year with this team, helping out, keep him on his legs, and they addressed parts of the defense too as well that they were struggling with here. So I like what they're doing here for the Chargers as well. That looks like a really nice matchup as well. I really like that too.
Definitely.
All right, so moving on again. Anybody else out there? What do you guys think about some other matchups here? I mean, Green Bay, San Francisco. If you look at that same week 3, that's the Sunday night game. So I think they're expecting Aaron Rodgers here too in this one.
Right.
And what are we going to get with Sam too? Yes, they went and grabbed Trey Lance. That's their guy.
Yep.
You hear how smart Kyle Shanahan is and doing his offense. But we also have this great defense that was there. But so many
they were
injuries.
hurt.
The San
Across
Francisco
the D-line.
49ers had so many injuries last year across the board. Most injured team
Cornerbacks,
in
D-line.
the NFL. And still, if you look at their record, they were able to muster up some wins there with the likes of Nick Mullins jumping in there and other quarterbacks to fill in for the injured, again, Jimmy G. Now his career in jeopardy, too, to where people have often said, too, maybe you should try and trade him away. This could be an interesting matchup here with Green Bay Packers here Sunday night.
Yeah, who's going to be the quarterback
against
for the Niners?
The 49ers.
I mean, Trey Lance still has some development to do. We've talked about that before the draft, and we said that he's coming from an offense where they just ran heavily, didn't throw a whole lot. So he's still got some growing up to do in those terms. But maybe Kyle Shanahan can get up to speed. We have to wait and see how his accuracy is with these new NFL wide receivers that he's going to have to work with, develop more chemistry with. Definitely has to work on footwork. So there's a lot to work with here for Trey. And will he be able to get up to speed, up to the point where Kyle Shanahan and company will feel comfortable with him going out there on the football field? We'll have to wait and see. But Jimmy G, I feel like he could feel safe right now. Knowing that Trey Lance is behind him, not 100% ready for the big show, I don't think, just yet. But maybe by the middle of the season, maybe he'll be ready then. We'll have to wait and see. But that, too, is another thing, is to watch that quarterback battle go on. Another one that pops up to me is Buccaneers-Patriots. I mean, how could it not be, right? You got Bill Belichick versus Tom Brady. It's the primetime game, the Sunday night game. It's going to be exciting for a lot of people to tune in and watch that to see what happens. And don't be so sure that because Brady is on the Buccaneers now with all these weapons, with this really good defense that they have, and the Patriots, like as of right now, they have Cam. But who's going to be the quarterback there? Will it still be Cam Newton at this time? Will Mac Jones surpass Cam throughout training camp, and he'll be the quarterback, which will change this whole complexity of this game? And don't forget Bill Belichick's defense. He has listen, they spent a ton of money, which they normally don't do, and they got their quarterback. So Bill Belichick, with the players that he's managed to add to this team, this team is going to be very competitive this year. They've made a point to get back into the ring here. So Buccaneers, Patriots, feel like this is going to be a pretty close game through and through. And Bill Belichick knows Tom Brady. Tom Brady knows Bill Belichick. So let's see how the minds clash in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. My screen died, so
it's okay. We're going to keep going
right now. But I think I was looking at Week 5
okay.
At some matchups, and it was the Amazon games too, Joe. I mean, this is something different too.
Thursday night.
Amazon had thrown a lot of games out there this past season, but now I think they pretty much own Thursday nights now, right?
They have the
whole
contract
rights?
for Thursday nights for some of the games, not all of them.
Not all of them. But that one in Week 5, the Thursday night matchup, I think is a really great
Rams
matchup
at
to look
Seahawks.
at. The Rams at Seahawks again. The rivalry that has been there. But again, I'm interested to see how Matt Stafford really works with this type of offense. You know what I'm saying? The way that Sean McVay runs it, and Matthew Stafford, we're happy for him, too, that he's able to get into, like, an offense that has so many weapons and things like that, too. A team that's looking to help him, not like the Detroit Lions. So many Lions players have been stuck there and left to die. He's able to get out and show people, like, what else he can do, because all people have known him is just to be on a terrible team, and he's very injury prone.
And not really get anywhere.
But he's still tough, still one of the fastest ones to get to like 10,000 yards too as well in a career. Overlooked a lot of people even so much that people didn't like it when he ended up being one of the highest paid players out there too as well. I'm excited to see him here go in there and duke it out here with the Seahawks.
And how could you not be, because he's going to a much, much better team all around. A better offensive line, I feel. More weapons, like you were saying. You look at what the Rams have. I mean, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, is he still there? I don't know.
Yeah, he's actually changing his number too.
Yeah, which is also amazing. And he's got all these different. Look at all the running backs they have. Cam Akers, who came in as a rookie last season, getting a second year. I mean, it looks very promising. So I mean, Tyler Higbee at tight end, lot to like here. Now he's going to finally get to display what he can do and do best. He throws the ball accurately, has a strong arm. He's smart. I feel like he's a little bit more athletic than Jared Goff. I know Goff is kind of like elusively athletic, but we'll have to wait and see how they do these like little, jet sweeps and stuff like they do in this offense with Sean McVay. But this game, it's going to be interesting. I feel like with Stafford there now as a proven commodity at quarterback, I feel like this is going to make the Seahawks-Rams rivalry even better.
And as far as the Goff thing, too, I'm excited for him just to see what he can do possibly in Detroit. And we'll see actually what he, I guess, is for like a real full take, because before he was under Jeff Fisher, wasn't really doing well. And then you see Sean McVay comes in. But then even when they had success, they were still asking him if he had any part in doing it, or was it all Sean McVay speaking in his ear? Did he tell you to throw this? Did he tell you to do this? Did he tell you to do that? And I know they're not going to do that with Matthew Stafford there.
Can't,
because he's been there. He's a veteran. So now when he's in their Detroit, I think he's going to enjoy it, just in the fact that I think he's not getting all that limelight that L.A. brings and the questions and things like that. And he can just let it ride, and then we'll see what happens and what they have with it.
I actually feel bad for Jared
I feel
Goff,
bad in a sense,
because he's going to a Lions team
what he has.
They really haven't done a whole lot for that offense.
Oh.
I mean, they got TJ, what's his name?
Hawkinson?
TJ Hawkinson, thank you. At tight end, so that's a nice, weapon that he could throw to and get a little comfortable. They added a couple receivers, but are they going to be enough?
But a couple walked away, a couple receivers aren't there that they had
and
before.
That's the thing, too, is like I feel like Detroit is still kind of in that rebuild mode. I mean, they have DeAndre Swift at running back. That's nice. Their offensive line, they say, is pretty good, but all we've seen them do is get injured. And I don't know. I wish nothing but good luck for Goff. I hope he does well, but, I mean, with that organization and that team, they're just not ready to win just yet.
All right, what do you got here for us the next games?
Oh, I'm picking all these now.
Have to. I have nothing here to look at.
I mean, here's the thing: is like as far as Week 5 goes, there's not a real. I mean, Bills Chiefs. Let's go to that one. Bills Chiefs primetime game.
Oh, that's a good
Week
one.
5. I mean, another rematch here. This is going to be exciting too, is because
it's a playoff rematch.
Not only is it a playoff rematch, but both teams got a little bit better than last time they met. I mean, you look at the Chiefs, they were looking to upgrade their offensive line. They do that by trading for Ravens right tackle Orlando Brown Jr., and he's going to be playing that left tackle role, which he was in desire of playing with Baltimore, but obviously they got Ronnie Stanley, so you're not moving Ronnie Stanley out of that position. He goes to the Chiefs. Let's see what the Chiefs do with their right tackle position. I don't remember them doing too much there. And the Bills, I mean, they managed to just get better all around. So they got another wide receiver. They got a lot to like. Another DN pass rusher that has to grow up in Gregory Rousseau. So let's see how that pans out. But all in all, this is going to be one of those games that a lot of people are going to be glued to.
All right, Tom Leiter's in the house with us tonight.
Tom.
Yeah, he says, I haven't seen the primetime lineup yet, but usually Seattle gets 4 or 5. Who does the NFL think we need to see the most of? I think a lot of those major teams that were in the playoffs last year, I think we're going to see them in the prime time a lot. I mean, it's always even Cowboys are out there. I think
Well, here
the
you
Packers
go.
have been throwing them out there
I'll
too.
just tell you right now who they are. Week 1. Yeah, I mean, are we including Thursday night games?
That's why I'm not so sure, because Thursday night games have really been trashed like for a while.
Well,
You know,
I-
so I think it looks
I
like
mean,
they're trying to step it up, though. Maybe
think week
Amazon,
1 is
because
not bad.
especially they want to, I think, show off Amazon. 'cause
Right.
They
Week 1,
invested
you got
the money in
the
it.
Cowboys and Buccaneers. The first Sunday night game is Bears-Rams. Okay. But usually Bears games are boring, aren't they? Boring to watch?
Yeah, like a lot of defense.
I don't know.
You know, and
I mean,
things.
I'm not trying to, bash the Bears or anything, but it just seems like every Bears game I watch, it just seems kind of
Yeah, and what are we going to see here out of that? You know what I mean?
Monday Night Football, you got the Ravens-Raiders. I think that, if the Raiders' defense doesn't show up, that could be a blowout.
It could
I
be.
mean, the Ravens could just take over that game. Thursday night, the next Week 2 Thursday night game is Giants-Washington. Interdivision rivals. Could be good. Could be good.
Yeah, it could be.
Sunday night. What? Really?
What?
Raiders at Steelers?
Raiders, they're really throwing the Raiders out there, huh?
Raiders at Steelers. I mean, Big Ben with no offensive line. That's going to be interesting. See how that works out.
Maybe Max Crosby can get to the quarterback then finally.
Yeah, maybe, just maybe. Or guess what? You're going to take a back seat because Yannick Ngakoue got signed to this team. Monday night, Lions at Packers. Oh boy, if Aaron Rodgers is there,
Yeah, that could be.
there's no
bad,
Stafford
too.
there.
Yeah,
you got to remember that. Week 3 Thursday night, Panthers at Texans. Oh God, really?
That one could be bad too. Real quick too, by the way, Tom Leiter, I just posted to our group about how they pick all the schedules
schedule,
and stuff like
how
that,
they
and how
do
they
it.
do it, the whole system. And there's one man that is the key to it too, as well. For a lot of it, he's the main guy, but they all collaborate together and use math and all kinds of other options and
He's
things
the
and what
one
they
that
want to
has
see.
a vendetta
He has
against
the whole
teams.
thing. Yeah, exactly. So you can blame him for the reason some of these teams have terrible schedules every year, and the Patriots always get favored. He must be a Patriot fan.
You got the Bears at Browns Sunday night on Week 3. Monday Night Football, Eagles, Cowboys.
A lot of these sound terrible.
They sound like the same thing that
This
last
is all
season
Monday
happened.
night or Sunday night? Prime time Sunday night?
Sunday night is
and Monday
Bears
you're
at
doing?
Browns.
Yeah.
And Monday night is Eagles at Cowboys.
Man,
Because Jerry Jones pays the bills.
I might have plans those 2 nights.
Week 4, Thursday night, Jaguars at Bengals.
Jaguars at
Could be
Bengals.
interesting. Could be interesting.
It
You
could
got
be.
Joe
It
Burrow
could be.
returning. You got Trevor Lawrence. I mean, that could be an
Yeah,
intriguing
that would
matchup.
actually a really neat little matchup to do. College quarterbacks, boom. I like it.
And then you got the Buccaneers at Patriots on Week 4. Monday night you have again Raiders at Chargers. Monday night.
That could be cool. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, the last time they played the Chargers, it was a primetime game, and it was actually right down to the wire. Chargers ended up winning it at the end, but it was pretty good. I think it went into overtime actually. So. Thursday night, Week 5, Rams at Seahawks. There you go, Tom.
There it is.
There's
See, I
there's
told
a
ya.
primetime game for Seahawks. And that same week is the Bills at Chiefs, like we just spoke of. Let's see, Week 6, Thursday night, Buccaneers at Eagles. That could be a wash. Buccaneers going right into Philly and wiping the floor up with them. Sunday night game is, here you go, Tom, Seahawks at Steelers. For Sunday Night Football. I'm just going to take a look real quick here. Any games that are...
Well, it's funny,
No.
too, with the Steelers. What you've got Juju Smith-Schuster saying he's happy to come back to the Steelers after, he was throwing it out
Come
there.
on,
Like, I might
man.
go somewhere. And then
Come
now he
on.
comes back.
And here's the thing, is a lot of people were already saying that he was offered more money to play with another team. But he turned those down to go back to Pittsburgh to take an $8 million contract for 1 year. My question is, was the teams that were offering you that money not appealing to you? Like, were they teams that were in desperate need of receiver and you said, no, I'm good. I'll go back to Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? But it is a 1 year deal, so it works out for him too. He's going to make $8 million real quick and then go back to free agency and test the market once again.
Tom Leiter says that's the bonus 17th game for the Seahawks. And Gary Burchard is in the house with us tonight. He says 49ers, Bucks, Chiefs, Cowboys, Pats, Packers, Rams, oh my, and Ravens all have 5 primetime games. There you go. He's doing it. He's saving you some breath here, Joe. There you go. There's the teams. And again, I'm not surprised by some of them. Yep. Again, if we're one, maybe even Rams though. Like I don't know why. Like I think they're okay, but I think they really love. Kyle Shanahan is the NFL darling. I mean, I would just admit it out there. Mm-hmm. I don't get it. I don't get people's infatuation with him. I understand to an extent, but I still think, and I'm going to stand by this, that he had grown up right there, right next to Daddy, and everybody saw him as a little boy growing up. Oh, we're going to go Kyle. We love little Kyle. And then here he is, and he's learning from him and stuff, and he gets coddled by everybody else around him. So he just shits rainbows everywhere and stuff. It's amazing.
I don't think.
Meanwhile, he can blow
exactly
a 28-3
like
lead in the Super Bowl, though. So.
And that's when he got criticized heavily for it.
Absolutely.
So I mean, I don't think he gets coddled. I definitely
so.
You can
but
see
that's my
people
opinion. That's your
take
opinion,
criticism.
So that's fine.
I mean, it is what
it
is.
Be different. It is absolutely. So thank you, Gary. By the way, we really appreciate that. What teams would you like to see out there more too in prime time? What ones are they lacking? You know, I think even Patriots. I mean, now they've kind of turned into America's team. You know, A and B are the Cowboys, I guess, because you have all those Patriots fans that have been so used to winning with Tom Brady and having Bill Belichick there still is polarizing, and having Tom Brady on the Buccaneers just winning a Super Bowl makes that team again just polarizing to be right there and linked together with some of these other teams, and we just expect to see more greatness coming out of them. And are they easily going to bounce back? Because even last year, their bad year wasn't really that bad. They were on the cusp of making the playoffs still.
But they didn't make it.
They didn't.
So,
but
I mean, that's bottom line.
They haven't made it in some seasons before as well. But.
Well, I mean, they didn't make it. And they didn't look good not making it. So Cam Newton, terrible decision. We said that from day one that wasn't going to work. It didn't work. And they realized that. So they went out and not only got weapons for the offense, but they also got weapons for the defense. And then all they were missing was a quarterback for the future. So hopefully Mac Jones is going to pan out to be that guy. Feel like coming from the draft, I feel like Mac Jones was that perfect quarterback for the Patriots and their offense. Let's see how it all pans out. This training camp that's coming, it's going to be a heated battle between him and Cam. I expect Mac Jones to win that battle because Cam Newton cannot make all the throws, and Mac Jones, I feel, will be able to. So we'll have to wait and see how that all shakes down. But also in Week 7, another big-time game is Colts at Niners. That's going to be an intriguing game. That's a prime-time game. That's at 8:20, Sunday Night Football. So that's interesting. Monday night is going to be Saints at Seahawks. There you go, Tom. There's another game for you. Saints
Again, some of these other teams that have been decent teams, I'm interested to see what they look like with a different quarterback in the.
Oh, you're going to find out.
Yeah,
but
we're going to. I mean, I think that's an interesting take on a lot of these.
Here's the thing, too, is about the schedule that's being released. Is a lot of times these schedules are done way ahead of time. Okay, and the big release party tonight, if you will. All this has been done like weeks ago, and now it's the big reveal. But a lot of times, because they start this process so early in the season, like before, I mean, well before, like pretty much after the season's over with, they start this, and going through this whole process, they're also on the thinking too. Not all the news has come out. Maybe they were thinking Drew Brees was still going to be there for the Saints, so they put him in all these primetime slots. You know what I mean? And they're normally a winning franchise or something like that with all these teams that are being slotted in the primetime slots here. But also it's about entertainment too. Like, you know, some fans are going to want to see the rookie go against the rookie or the second-year guy go against the rookie type of deal. So we see a lot of this trending now where they want to see rematches of playoff games or rookie quarterback versus rookie quarterback. And you see that as it's playing out in the schedule.
All right, we got Tom Leiter here. He says, I really like one less preseason game and one more regular season game. But is it going to skew the record book?
I have a question. Why?
You're absolutely right, Tom. It is going to skew the record book. And we talked about this on a few episodes ago on our show and how it could how it could change a few things here and how we see certain players going forward. Not necessarily in recent history, but now going forward. If you got that extra game, and I know it's not like a huge thing. However, it could definitely skew it a little bit. When you look at these running backs, do they hit the century mark? Do they get 1,000 yards rushing? Well, guess what? Now you got another week to do it. So if you came up and you ran 800 or 946 yards, and now, hey, I got another game. I'm definitely going to hit 1,000 yards, and boom, I get an incentive for that, and it looks good on my resume. It comes a little easier for those players. Same thing with receiving for wide receivers. You know what I mean? They're a little shy. Maybe that extra game is going to put them over the mark. Or maybe they're just shy of a few touchdowns to get double digits. So yeah, I feel like this is definitely going to skew the record book a little bit, and I almost would hope that a different equation or a different way of looking at players going forward with this extra game added in. Is there a way now that they can kind of mathematically or figure out a plateau, something that you have to meet to make the Hall of Fame? You know what I mean? We've had this talk before where there's definitely several guys in Hall of Fame that honestly they kind of don't belong there. I mean, they were there because of a big play that they made in the Super Bowl or memories that they made throughout their careers. So
nothing is impossible.
Yeah, I mean, it could be anything. And Tom Leiter says here with the asterisk. Yeah, I mean, that's something I think we're all going to look at. You're used to hearing it more in baseball, I guess. And maybe you're going to hear it more in football. But what's funny with baseball, it goes so far back. Their modern era starts back in 1920. So they're then the modern era, this team has only done so much. Right, dude, that wasn't no modern era right now. We're already in 2021 right now.
Yeah.
You need to change your modern era, all right? But, maybe there's going to be a new modern era thing. Or, again, in asterisk, this is when they change it here. Or even like you said, you had to play a certain amount of games or what it was. Or even upon average, some of these things would be recognized in the rule book. Because you hear the argument as well as how the game has changed since then.
It has.
And yeah, that's the argument we hear when we say that we don't appreciate some of the people that might be in the NFL. Yes, great players, but on the Hall of Fame, I don't know so much. I mean, just because you might have won so many championships as well, did it make you even that greatest player in that particular era, I guess, at that time, even though you might have had it.
And the other thing, too, about this is I think in order to, calculate or figure out going forward who belongs in the Hall of Fame or not, let's just say this upcoming season is a new era because of this added game. I feel like the players should be judged based on the era that they played through. You know what I mean? And the bulk of their career should be deciphered on if they belong in the Hall of Fame or not by that era. You know what I mean? So this one, right now, this season coming up, because of that extra game, players should be judged going forward, this era, the way it is. So let's see how many yards get racked up by receivers or running backs or quarterbacks with having that extra game, and then trying to figure out from that who belongs in the Hall of Fame going forward with this extra game being added.
Tom Leiter might have it here with the salary cap era. Perhaps, I'm not sure.
I mean, but the salary cap era happened before this extra game, so
I mean that still gives you a nice section still too. You don't have to go too far back. You know what I'm saying? With some of those other guys that were playing in the 70s. Not saying.
Yo.
All right. So I mean, a lot of different things. That was a great question again, Tom Leiter in the house with us.
Buddy. Thanks for the questions. Keep them coming.
We love
hey guys, any questions at all? It doesn't have to be about what we're talking about. It doesn't have to be about the schedule. It could be about it if you want to. If you want to bring up, if you want to bring up a certain game on the schedule, we'll talk about it. If you want to bring up something else, completely different, the draft that just happened, or a certain player that you're high on for your team, or talk about your team in general, or fantasy football. We're here for you guys, even though it's a little too early for fantasy.
Sit down.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a great time to let you guys know, too. We're going to plug it out there. YouTube, go to YouTube, Football on the No Show. If you like what you're hearing right now, come and join the family here, Football on the No Show on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, notification bell. If you're watching it on YouTube right now, we appreciate it. If you're not, we're also on Facebook. You know, Football on the No, /Jim and Joe is our page, but then our group, Football on the No Show as well. Join the group. We are getting more members daily. Just the other day, we got 6 more. We're up to almost 600 now.
It's pretty exciting.
So, yeah, we're very excited, and we have some stuff in a pipeline right now we're working on. So,
We do,
in the
we
next
do.
couple of weeks, we'll see what happens.
And another announcement is stay tuned for giveaways.
Yes.
We're going to start doing some NFL giveaways, jerseys, possibly autographed memorabilia. So make sure you stay tuned and pay attention.
Yes.
Just pay attention because we're going to give you
Come true.
Yes.
we're gonna give you guys some clues and stuff every week, and then at the end of the month we're going to announce the winner.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely. So what else? What are some marquee matchups we have moving forward, Joe? I mean,
I was kind of looking at this, as you're talking, like I brought up the Colts 49ers matchup. That was kind of an interesting game. Going into week 8, halfway through the season here, Buccaneers Saints, maybe. It depends on the quarterback play, obviously, for the Saints. Like, if it is Jameis Winston, is that going to be enough to compete against a Buccaneers defense like they have? And Tom
and
Brady.
also that's going to be a great story for the media. Media's going to drum that one up. Here comes Jameis Winston back,
and Taysom Hill.
Yeah. To the
It's Ebony and Ivory.
There you go. Back to the Buccaneers here. The play. He wants to get the revenge game and all this other stuff.
Also, week 8 too is Dolphins at Bills, AFC East matchup. Let's see how much Tua has grown in his second year. When he faces a really tough Bills team.
What about a little later even in the season? Because one thing we do like is some of those teams that were possibly expected to make it to the playoffs here, really good teams, they get to meet each other later on in the season that could have playoff implications. We've seen a lot of games, even between the terrible NFC East here, have playoff implications those last couple games. And those are nice matchups you like to see, really close. Do they start some players? Do they rest some players? With this extra week, are we going to see 2 weeks of some teams resting their players in a row, and not playing them, and maybe more of it just kind of just letting everybody get a nice, rest fully?
Here's another one in week 11, Colts at Bills. That'll be a nice matchup there.
Do the Bills end up playing the Vikings at all here? Because that would be nice to see even Stephon Diggs come back to the Vikings. You get to see even that the electrifying wide receivers of the Vikings, come into there and going against that defense.
Well, I'll keep paying attention to see if I see that. But Thanksgiving, everybody.
Oh, Thanksgiving
the
Day.
Thanksgiving games. Bears at Lions.
Okay.
Classic. Raiders at Cowboys, which is a little bit different. And Bills at Saints. Are your 3 games to watch Thursday.
Bills at Saints and Raiders at Cowboys, you said?
Raiders at Cowboys. Interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting.
We both said that at the same time.
Dang. Excellent.
Oh, man. Yeah, so that's cool. You get to see your team play on Thanksgiving, though. How
or
about that?
it might not be cool.
Yeah,
I might just have to.
I don't know. If they're playing the Cowboys, I think that's a good matchup.
I might just have to eat myself into a coma.
Maybe. I mean, I think those are really parallel teams. Everybody loves the Cowboys and what they're going to do, and now they're destined to win the Super Bowl again now that Dak's back. I think if you take those teams and you match them up, quarterback versus quarterback, and then running back to running back, and start lining it up into where they had weakness at defense on both teams, I think they're matched fairly close.
And the other interesting thing to note, too, is like the Raiders, now that they have a new D coordinator, and Gus Bradley, formerly of the Chargers. I'm interested to see, because it's his first year, how fast players can acclimate to his defense. You know what I mean? Because that's usually the key of improving your defense overall, is how fast can they grasp the scheme and execute. And by this time, I mean, you're into Thanksgiving now. You're in Week 12. At Week 12, everybody should understand the defense. And maybe it improves the team enough to make it a good game. Otherwise, it's just going to be a high-scoring game.
And the media, it's Amari Cooper comes back, to now the Raiders to play the Raiders.
Oh, he dropped a first down.
He did.
Oh,
Don't be rude.
Didn't get the ball. Sorry.
Who knows?
Not elite.
Yeah.
Anyway,
he's got to try and make a ridiculous catch that Dak Prescott threw behind him 10 yards.
It's a behind-the-back catch.
Yes.
Amazing.
So, I mean, yeah, some of those games, again, playoff implications. Maybe we see something like that. It'd be nice.
It could be.
Unfortunately, I got to witness some of those terrible ones, like the Philadelphia Eagles last year. Would just lay down and let Washington football team get right into it.
Oh, I know.
How about that?
Also, Tom Leiter, you're going to be happy to hear this. In Week 12, under the lights, Monday Night Football, Seahawks at Washington.
Wow, Seahawks at Washington.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that'll be interesting.
Man,
huh?
Russell Wilson is gonna be.
Against-
How many steps? You look at his Fitbit. How many steps you think he gets in that game? You know what I mean? He's gonna be running all
Could
over
be.
the place. I think.
Could be. I mean, that's a really good defense, and the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, they're no joke. I mean, so that's going to be a good game. I feel like, and then let's see what Fitzmagic can do as the quarterback, if he's still the quarterback by this time.
Yeah,
There's no guarantee.
Yeah, there is no guarantee. They could be flicking the light switch.
That's right.
Who's going in and out? I don't know. A lot of people are high on the Tyler Heineke. Not sure. I thought they might make a move to go
develop.
get quarterback
we know that.
here, but
yeah,
I don't know. It's a gamble. We'll see what they're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, looking through here, we got Week 13, Niners at Seahawks, primetime, another primetime game. What is this? The fourth one, fifth one?
Yeah, he said,
just like he said.
Yeah, Gary.
So Niners at Seahawks. Sunday Night Football, that's a good one. Also, Monday Night Football that same week, Patriots at Bills. That interdivision one, that should be a good one. Week 14, what do we got here? Bills at Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm.
Any takers? Good game.
That could be a good game.
Could be.
Could have been what the Super Bowl was. That's why we were even talking about it too. I think if the Bills even made it and played the Bucs, I think that would have been a better, closer game because what we saw, even especially after, unfortunately, with the Chiefs, you probably enjoyed it. The COVID thing and the injuries that they had the backs against the wall going into that game, and they kind of went in there.
Listen, they had no shot against that defense, not having either tackle.
Yeah.
I mean, no offensive tackle help, no starters there. That wasn't recipe to win that game. Hey, I give the Chiefs offensive line credit for sticking in there and trying, but they just, Patrick Mahomes just didn't have time.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see he was easily frazzled after that.
Yeah, and I really gained a little more respect for Patrick Mahomes in that game as well, too. Some of the throws he was doing from inches off the ground, being chased around, I felt horrible for him. I hear Tom Leiter here. I know. He goes, I just checked. Seattle has 5, so they're out there. So I wonder what team has the most, too. I mean,
we'd have to go back
it's got to
through
be
and
the
look at it.
Buccaneers, too, again, because the NFL loves Tom
They just
Brady.
won the Super Bowl.
Buccaneers, there's the story, Cinderella story.
It's the
everything.
trendy thing to do for the NFL.
Yeah, everything fits all together.
Whoever wins the most gets the most. Gets the most love.
Oh, yeah. It was whatever Tom Brady does.
Week 15, Thursday Night Football, Chiefs at Chargers. That's a good one. That's always a good
Chiefs
one.
and Chargers?
AFC West, matchups are always good. So Chiefs at Chargers, that's going to be another good one. Let's see. What do we got? We're into Week 15 now. We're getting close to the end here. I mean, you could say Patriots at Colts. That's a classic. That should be a good game. Panthers at Bills might be a little interesting. With Sam Darnold.
Yeah, we'll see.
At quarterback.
That's the thing, because the Jets play the Panthers again too. To bring that up, the fact that you traded me away,
they
I
matched
am,
them up. Yeah.
And then even Robbie Anderson too. So both them together against this team. I mean, that could be really interesting.
Yep.
Big middle finger.
Another Sunday night game, and this is kind of like a classic matchup of Saints at Buccaneers. Tom Brady versus the new quarterback of the Saints.
Well, that doesn't have the same allure as Brady Breeze. I mean, that's the thing we're gonna try and
gotta get used to.
Yeah, we're gonna get used to it now. Things are changing,
Brady,
Joe. It's nuts.
Brady. I can't
Starting
do it.
now,
I can't do it.
If there are young children now getting into football, they probably will hear about now Drew Brees and what he has done and things like that. But now they will not be able to witness and have an NFL without Drew Brees.
I know it's going to be crazy because there's
probably should have an NFL without Ben Roethlisberger. But
why did he come
just
back?
won't go away. He's like syphilis.
Here's my thing about Big Ben is this has got to be where's your education on knowing when to get out. You stayed with an organization that did not add to the offensive line to protect you, but they subtracted. I mean, what's going to happen?
There you go.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
what's
Tom Lair
Tom
says
got?
late season Sunday night games are still subject to change, right? Yeah, I think so. I think
They
it's
still
flex
have
games.
they
in and
still
out
have what
and
they
stuff,
call
so.
flex games, and that could change. It's probably going to change definitely based on what teams ascend, what teams kind of like are lackluster throughout the season. So yeah, and you see that happen more often as we get to the middle part to the end, them starting to flex games out.
Absolutely, and I think even just to bring up my team, the Giants, I'm really excited to see a lot of these games and interested to see what they do. It can Saquon Barkley stay healthy, because then now we could have a running game there going for Daniel Jones to help him out and alleviate some of the stress and not being pressured so much, to where people just pin their ears back and go after him and try and strip that ball because they know he doesn't protect the ball very well. But I know when he has time, he's called Danny Dimes for a reason. He can drop it where it needs to be put. And now they've got some great weapons around him, especially if they get that running game down there too as well. And now that matchup with, we'll say, the Cowboys there, it's a lot better of a matchup. And they even handed it to the Cowboys when they were playing him in that particular game, when they even injured Dak Prescott in that one too. And they were in a lot of close games last year and sneakily had a pretty good defense. So this defense even if not gets better this year, and now they improve the offense, you're looking at a totally different team that could compete.
Yeah, for sure. I was just looking in here, week 16. We have a Saturday game.
Saturday
Colts
games now
at Cardinals. That could be interesting.
I like it. I like the Cardinals a lot this year. I mean, again, I think they're on the ascending trail right here now too with what they have.
And here we go. I got one for you.
Sure.
Monday night, Dolphins
I
at
don't have the
Saints.
Monday Night Football music. That should have queued it up. What?
Dolphins at Saints.
Dolphins at Saints.
No Drew
Monday night,
Brees. No Drew Brees. Could make it a little.
I don't know. That's what I mean.
Because
Because the thing is, though, too, is I think even with the Dolphins, we heard so many talks that maybe they were looking to trade Tua and all this other stuff.
Nah, they
I think, but even still, I don't think I've seen a lot of Tua yet. So a lot of these quarterbacks.
No, he's only had 1 year.
Yeah,
He's
well,
a
not
rookie
even
year.
a full year. I mean, so now, some of this year is going to be such an interesting season, I think, where we're all going to be learning, I think, all together and experiencing some of this fresh new looks of some of these teams and some of these
talent.
quarterbacks. It's like a whole new reset. You
Yeah,
know?
it's almost a whole new reset for the NFL.
Mhm.
I mean, you see a lot now. You're seeing more and more influx of young quarterback talent that's taking over on day one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we'll see how many quarterbacks out of this draft take over, but we already know Zach Wilson is definitely going to take over for the Jets. Trevor Lawrence, obviously, with the Jaguars. Then after that, it's kind of maybe Trey Lance. Maybe he can develop. I don't know. I still feel like he needs a lot of development to the point where he might have to wait a year. I know that's not what Niner fans want to hear, but Jimmy G, he's not the healthiest guy. Maybe he might be rushed into that quarterback position. Justin Fields, he's in a kind of like a complex situation. They just signed Andy Dalton. They already announced he was the starter, kind of. And then they said, oh, no, it's going to be a quarterback competition between Dalton and Nick Foles. And then you trade up and draft a quarterback. Now you got three guys possibly could end up being the starter. So a lot of intrigue there in Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, and for some reason I just thought about it too when Tom commented about he likes that there's one last preseason game and then they added the extra games like that. My always big thing with the preseason was the injuries that keep piling up, and we've talked about it on the show a few times.
It's gonna happen. That's gonna be worse.
And now they've got the extra week in here and there, and I still really think. Plus, I don't know. I think I have some OCD somewhere or two along the lines too, or something like that. I think an 18-week season with. Well, that's what they have even right now, right? But I don't know. I just think they should.
They had 17 weeks last season. Now they have 18 weeks.
18 weeks, yeah.
And
they
you
do.
still have one bye.
I just wish they added another bye week in there.
Yeah, that's what
and you had another week of rest for everybody, because even now they're still going with that same formula that they had last season, I think, because they're allowing more teams in the playoffs again, and that sole team gets the sole rest. They get the one bye.
Right.
These guys are all pushing through, working through injuries and all this other stuff. let them have that 1 week of rest, that extra week, 2 weeks of rest, and 2 buys would be nice for everybody. They're fresh, and I think we get overall a better game.
I do agree with that. I disagree with them changing
And it stretches it further back because I know they're trying to get it further into President's Day and stuff like that, and then they're trying to get it to be like a holiday weekend.
Yeah, I do feel like that was a bad decision on them to make only one team have a bye week. I like the original format. If they wanted to add to that format and add two teams on each side to kind of like keep it going, a bigger bracket, okay, maybe, but I don't want it to. I didn't want it to turn into like college football. You know what I mean? Like where they have to break down like rankings and all the way down to the end, and then you got the playoff, thing.
Yeah,
so,
we're definitely not doing that.
So, but my thing is too is they should bring back that extra team that gets another bye week for the playoffs. I felt like that was fair. Now I feel like as much as you've done as the second ranked team in that conference, sorry, you're not getting a bye week.
Well, plus also everything that you've done to try and say that we're trying to make everything on an even scale for every team, you're still not, because you're kind of ensuring that team that had finished first up there, they're the ones that benefit from that the most, and then they can still be there in the end. Like, where's the fairness of everything, getting some of these other teams in there.
And then going back to what you were saying about, like, because we've talked about this multiple times now on our show about if they were to add another game to the season, shouldn't they have to add another bye week with the amount of injuries that already occur?
Well, yeah, look at the 49ers,
Now that they're adding another week, I know the players aren't happy with it, even though they are still going to be paid their normal checks, like under their current, current game checks that they get now. They're just getting an extra check for that other week, so they're still compensated for it. However, we've seen tremendous amount of injuries for all teams across the board, whether it be a key player, like another player that rotates in that is a big part of the team, and all of a sudden they're done for the year or they're out for several weeks, and it hurts the team. It just seems like the injuries keep mounting and mounting up every single year. And now that you add an extra game, what's it going to hurt you, NFL, by giving each team an extra bye week? It doesn't hurt you at all financially, because isn't that what this is about? It's about making more money. That's why you added an extra game. Well, adding an extra bye week for each team isn't going to hurt you either, because you still have the same amount of same amount of weeks of games. It's just teams get an extra bye week. That's it. I don't see any harm in it.
This is the coolest thing I have ever seen.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. All right, so I mean,
let's see. We got the last week right here.
Yeah, there you go.
Let me just pick real quick. Is there any good games?
They're probably thinking everybody is resting.
Actually, there's not like a blockbuster like great matchup. I mean, really. I mean, you got a lot. I mean, you got a lot of the classics like Bears at Vikings or something like
some
that.
Some of those out there like that because they knew it might have been resting. Some.
And who knows? Maybe they flex a game here or something.
Right.
Because when you get down to week 17, 18 now, maybe even 16. That's when you start to notice like the playoff race, like this team is 1 game out, 2 games out. If they win the next 2, they're in. That's when it's going to get exciting. That's when you're going to see a lot more flexing of the games too, when it really means the most.
Right, and what I really like about even this year that they added with that extra game is that the team that your team would play is a team that finished close to the same type of area that you finished from the opposite conference. So you end up facing somebody that pretty much handled a lot of the same type of competition and now finished where you did, and you guys kind of have a litmus test here of where you guys are.
Right.
Where did they finish now after the draft? Now how are they looking up? Are they looking better? Or did you guys both do well? And so it's gonna be a really tough matchup possibly here. So I think I really like that fact, and that adds a whole nother type of aspect to the season as well. Makes some other good matchups.
Yeah, for sure.
What did you say? Division matchups looking for tiebreaker. Yes.
Right.
Well, that's a funny thing too. Is now we know that no team can finish at 500.
That's right.
So we won't see 8-8 teams here anymore.
No more.
So there you
You're
go.
either a winning team or you're a losing team.
So now the NFC East has to do something here. Okay, you can't finish at 8-8 now and be okay with that. So
I mean, we've seen it them end up at 7 and
Yeah,
9
that's
and
true.
win
We've
the division.
Seen a bunch. Yeah, we've seen a few.
We'll
so.
see what happens. Maybe this changes things up for the NFC East.
Yes.
We were going to talk a little bit about the number changes, right? Like some of the
we can
players.
probably roll through that quick.
Yeah, real quick. Buda Baker, I guess, is one of the first ones that want to change his number. He's going from 32 to 3. So you're going to see a safety out there for the Cardinals running around number 3, and you're going to be like, "Who the hell's that?" Oh, it's Buda Baker.
Along there, side there with what's funny thing too is thinking of the Cardinals was Patrick Peterson's changing now too. To a single-digit number. And I think it's funny with all these players switching to single-digit numbers.
Yes, and a lot of times with the single-digit thing, I feel like it's more about like maybe that was their number in college, and they want to wear that number in the NFL because there was restrictions before. That's why they had to change it. Or maybe it's from high school, or maybe it means something to them for somehow. And if it doesn't mean anything, it's really just to be different. You know what I mean? That's really what
I think I'm number
one.
But
Patrick Peterson right now is with the Minnesota
right.
Vikings. So
yes.
He's going from 21 with the Cardinals, and because he said it's a new beginning, he's going to number 7.
Yes.
For the
so
for
that's
the
what
Vikings.
I mean. It'd be weird. I think of 7 and Tavares Jackson maybe even with the Vikings.
Or
you know what I'm saying?
quarterback
Yeah,
with number
it's
7.
It'd be pretty
Emmanuel Sanders now with the Buffalo Bills. That was the wide receiver that slipped my mind
Yeah.
there. He's going to number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1 as a wide receiver. And Trubisky is going to go with 10. Or no, wait.
No, he's been 10.
Initially 10.
Now he's going to change it
with
up?
the Bills. And now we'll be wearing 1. So, Emmanuel Sanders will be changing it.
Oh, that's because
from-
Mitch Trubisky,
Right.
Trubisky was 10, so
And
he's
then
going to switch
Trubisky's gonna
anyways,
take
so
it.
he'll just take one. All
Right.
Got it.
Darius Slay, he's another guy that's going from number 24 to now he's going to go to number 2. So, Mills there, the quarterback for the Eagles, he's going to change his number from 2 to 1. So, interesting. You're going to see a lot of single digits, I feel like. I mean, that's where the trend is
you
going.
saw a lot of it in college, and I know a lot
Right.
of them. I know
Leonard Fournette. This is going to be really odd, everybody.
Yeah, that one was
he's
weird,
going
I
from
think, too.
28
Yes.
to 7.
Yes.
So a running back running with a single-digit number. This is going to take a lot of getting used to for me. I know that. I mean, this is going to be insane. They're going to be like, oh, what? Are we playing college football? No, we're not. Okay. Jaquiski Tart, he's going to go, oh, this ain't that dramatic. He's going from 29 to 26. Big deal.
Ooh.
You know, way to go out on a limb there. And he made the list. Jason Verrett, the corner for the Niners, who is injured every year. I don't know why he would even bother changing his number, but he's going from 22 to the number 2.
Tom Leiter says, now I won't know when a lineman is illegally downfield.
That's true. True statements.
Yeah, exactly. That is true. We won't know. I mean, I'm wondering if that's what the thing is, too, because I know Tom Brady is dead set against it. Other team guys like it. I know the Chiefs had brought it up first, to the table, and that's what they wanted to do is change it. But is it going to be a problem maybe for some of the refs out there or officials?
Yes.
I think is it even, because I discussed this with some other people about it too, is it going to be, I know you're supposed to know your assignments anyways, and a lot of people know players anyways, but for some of the defensive backs or something that are going in certain packages that don't play so much, when they have to line up, say, on a different tight end or a fullback or whatever, and they got a single-digit number or something's different about it, they're used to seeing, you're like, is that the tight end? Is it? This is my guy over here,
You're just going to have to look at where they are on the field to determine
or
it.
even really just, look at the roster, the tape,
And here-
everything, and be like, all right, because even tape will show you it was different last year.
And it's going to be really funny when you see the same single-digit number going up against each other. So you have a corner with the number 2, and maybe you have a receiver with the number 2.
I tell you what,
It's gonna be a lot of crazy stuff.
It might stand out. It might backfire for some of these linemen, because if they are holding and you have a single digit and everybody else is like 67, 67, 8, blah blah blah, and you're like 2, you're like, I definitely saw that was number 2 holding. It wasn't confusing this number.
I mean, so far, I don't think any offensive lineman is going to change their number.
Change their numbers.
I mean,
because
you
would think that
you're
maybe
seeing
that
a
would
lot
make
of
you
this
stand out
with
more.
skilled positions. Pretty much, those are the only ones changing their numbers.
Right.
Maybe you might see it with linebackers, maybe, but I feel like maybe D-line and offensive linemen, they might be nah, I'm good. Never mind that.
Yeah, wide receivers, corners.
You just have now Kyle Pitts, who just got drafted by the Atlanta Falcons. He wore 84 at Florida.
Right. Yeah.
And now he's going to go to 8. So a tight end wearing 8. Picture that.
There you go. I mean, so that would be interesting right away off the take too. And
Sterling Shepard also.
Shepard, I was going to say Sterling Shepard.
Your giant Sterling Shepard was going
He
from
should be
87 to 3.
Yeah. Good. That's about as many catches as he has a season.
He has way more than that. Stop it.
All right, but how about Robert Woods too? He's going from like number 17 is what he had. He had 10 when he was with the Bills, and then 17 for a few years. He's going to number 2 where what he wore at USC, but then also at his high school.
So
that's
far,
why he
it's like a lot of single digits. They're going from double to single. Paris Campbell's one of them, going from 15 to 1.
So
Will
overall,
Fuller,
though, I mean, it's not.
Will Fuller going to 3.
Yeah.
He's going to wear number 3.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, there's in the list just keeps going on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I know some fans though,
So
especially of like Sterling Shepard. I mean, we were hanging out with our buddy Zach for the draft. He had his Shepard jersey on.
Right.
So now that
what
he's
happens,
changing,
Zach?
No, he's saying that he's not getting another one. You know?
Really?
He's not.
He's got to get another one.
Well, I don't know. Is that where some fans are going to go? Or are they going to say, well, they've got the new one. Now I need to get the jersey with the new number.
You definitely have, you know, those fans with jerseys that they just have to have the right one. You know what I mean? So like the current one, they got to have it.
I tell you what now, though, with the giveaways that were given away and things like that, with the autographed jerseys and stuff like that, having the old number and then possibly new ones with
give
the
away
new numbers.
the new numbers.
The new numbers as well.
That's right.
How about that? I mean, that's pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts now number 1. So when his new jersey comes out, maybe that'll be a giveaway for some lucky Eagles
and maybe
fan
we'll
or
do
NFL
even a
fan.
mystery raffle too. Who knows? It'll be a lot of fun. We've been kicking this around, you know, keywords, stuff like that. So stick tight for that stuff. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
That's right, and you have to add at least one member.
There you go.
You
Yeah,
know?
get your name in.
You
it.
got to have
we
to
can
get
see
it
who
into.
adds too as well.
Yeah,
Absolutely, I like it. All right, any other ones out
trying
there?
to grow
Joe? I
this
mean,
family. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
this
definitely.
this football community that we got going on.
But what do you guys think about that too? I mean, like again, at first I thought it was stupid, but then I'm like, oh, it doesn't really matter, I guess, because again, you see different numbers in college
It's gonna
and stuff
be-
like that all over the place. So it's just something we're not used to.
That's
so
what
we're
it
gonna
is.
Just do it.
And I feel like that's what it is more than anything. Is like
right.
when we first watch football again, and you're going to see a lot of these single-digit numbers out there, and you're like, wait a second, who is that? I gotta hold on. I gotta look at the roster. I gotta look at the. Oh, that's that guy. Okay. You know, it's gonna be weird. So like, the worst possible scenario is that everybody changes their numbers to single digits. You know, like corners and wide receivers, and that would really mess everybody up. Like,
Yeah.
you got to wait for the touchdown, you know what I mean? And then they announce the name because you don't know who it is.
Oh yeah, you'll try to find him again.
Or you're looking on the
this is
TV
guy
like,
down
what's
here.
his name on the back of the jersey?
I wonder how many even announcers might get it wrong, even though if they will or not. Just you know, because you know the player.
Oh, you know
You're so
that's
used
gonna
to seeing
happen,
the number, and
for
they're like,
sure.
"Oh, it's this and this," and they're like, "Oh." Like,
like-
imagine Gronk changing his number from 87 to something else. You know what I mean? It would be weird for them. They'd be like, "Oh, this Gronk." No,
Gronk
that's not
changes
him.
it to 4.
Especially if somebody else
From
takes it
87.
over, you know. So, I don't know, but yeah, I mean that's an interesting topic. I think it's been a lot of fun.
It'll be fun
and
for
then
sure.
also the schedule's out there. You know, there's more to come. We're going to be excited about that.
Yeah.
And
gonna
who
be
knows,
awesome.
in the upcoming weeks, too, we have more to talk about. Again, we appreciate you guys joining us tonight, spending
Thank you,
time
thank
with
you,
us
thank
again
you,
out of
thank
your
you.
nights. And also share the love with everybody. You know, invite some friends and join in on the conversation, too. Love to have fun talking to you guys. And there's more to come. We really appreciate it. Anything
Absolutely.
else to follow, Joe?
Hey, before you go,
Mhm.
whoever's watched to the end, congratulations, because it
You
doesn't normally
made it.
happen.
You made it.
You've made it. You've made the milestone. But
Yeah.
in all seriousness, if you have anybody that loves football like we do, you know, and loves entertaining show, likes to be interactive a little bit, feel free, invite them over here. You know, you can send them to YouTube. Hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel, Football on the No Show, as well as hit that notification bell. Get all our latest and greatest updated content. And also, if you're not a part of YouTube, you can also go to Facebook, follow us at Football with Jim and Joe, right? The Football on the No with Jim and Joe.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that what
yeah.
it is?
Yeah.
Our page.
Yes, it's our page.
Or you can follow
Like
our
the
group,
page and
which
follow
is
the group
easy.
too, again, because we get support too from Facebook and things like that when
Definitely,
you guys
definitely.
do that. So do that if you join the group. Hit the page too.
Every like, every share, every comment, it helps with the algorithm to get us a little bit more well known. So we really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate the support. See you next week.
All right, see you.
Join us next week from 8 till 10 Wednesday nights for more Football on the Know with Jim and Joe.
What you've just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.